Hello everyone, I'm Jared Atkinson coming at you from right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm glad to talk to you today. I'm a huge Nebraska Cornhuskers fan and just love Nebraska more than about anything I can imagine. But some people ask me, why are you such a big Nebraska fan? Well, when you grow up in Nebraska and that's all you have to do, because there's no pro sports teams, only one major college in the whole state. You just learn to live and breathe Nebraska. I mean, when people say they bleed Husker red, they really mean it. I mean, I grew up in rural Nebraska, and when you grow up in rural Nebraska, you're either usually working on the farm or watching Nebraska. I mean, that's about all there is to it. And it's just like when Nebraska loses, it's like just rips the life right out of you, So I'm just like, ever since I was a little kid and I started watching with my dad, I just love Nebraska football, and more than anything, it's just a passion of mine, and I can't even describe how much I love Nebraska football. But recently, a company, the CBS College Sports Network, and let me tell you, if there's the best college sports network in the country, it's the CBS College Sports Network. They asked me a few questions, and I was going to answer those today. Basically, it says, who is your team's biggest rival? Describe your rival in 5 words or less. Well, for many years, Nebraska's biggest rival was Oklahoma. I mean, that's just what it was. If you were a Nebraska fan, you just wanted to beat Oklahoma. That was your biggest thing throughout the year. When's the Oklahoma game coming? And that type of thing. Then the Big 12 came, and we didn't get to play them every year, but we still got to play them in the Big 12 championship a few times, and twice out of every 4 years, so it's still a pretty big rival. But the rivalry kind of died a little bit, and now we're going to the Big 10. And when we're going to the Big 10, there is no question who Nebraska's biggest rival is going to be, and it's going to be Iowa. Why? They're right next door. It's a neighboring state. It's going to be a border war. And I heard one of the Iowa players already call it Farmageddon. What a great name. I love it. So Farmageddon coming this year, and without a doubt, Iowa's going to be Nebraska's biggest rival, and they are right now as far as I'm concerned. And it says, describe your rival in 5 words or less. I would have to say for Iowa, it's can't win the big one. And sorry, Iowa fans. I know I have a lot of respect for you because you're the same kind of college Nebraska is, bring in not always the biggest name recruits, just build a pipeline of players and keep winning games. And I do have a lot of respect for you, but hey, sometimes the truth hurts. Next question was, choose one, winning a major bowl game but losing to your rival in the regular season, or beating your rival and no major bowl appearance. Well, this is a tough one because obviously the ideal situation would be to have both. But if you can't do that, I would have to pick to win the major bowl game. Reason being is because you have that whole off season to think about it. I mean, you lose your bowl game, you're sitting there worrying the whole off season. You're like, oh man, we lost, and what are we supposed to do? It's like you wonder what's coming. You wonder if they're going to make any changes. You wonder if they're going to get it all worked out. So it's just tough to go through that off season without winning your major bowl, or any bowl for that matter. But your rival, you're always going to get another chance the next year. You might have played them at their house. Next year you can say, okay, come into Lincoln, try and beat us here, that type of thing. So, I mean, even though, yeah, you always want to beat your rival, I'd have to say winning that major bowl game would be my choice. Next question was, describe your first memory of your team. Well, I remember at a young age watching Mickey Joseph for Nebraska. He was a quarterback, and he wasn't the biggest guy. He was only about 5'7", if I remember right, and I couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 at the time. And I remember him playing Oklahoma, our biggest rival, the day after Thanksgiving, and he got hurt. He went over to the sideline. An Oklahoma player hit him late, out of bounds, pushed him into a bench, and he broke his leg so bad that the bone was sticking out. And I remember we were doing really well in that game, But I just remember thinking, he was so tough. He sat there, didn't even wince in pain. Just sat there, says, take me off the field, good luck, guys. And I just always remember, it's like, from that moment on, I mean, I was always a Nebraska fan anyway, but I really don't remember much before then. But from then on, I just watched every week because I just remember seeing him and how tough he was. He had a bone sticking out of his leg, for goodness sake. He just keep telling his teammates on the way off the field, hey, go out there and try and win. We didn't end up winning the game, but I'll never forget that moment. Next question was, what is your favorite all-time greatest memory of your team? Well, this is pretty easy. It has to be the '96 Fiesta Bowl. I mean, when Nebraska was going in there to play Florida, 2 undefeated teams going for the national championship. And not only that, but they were trying to repeat as champions. They had won the national championship the year before. And a lot of people had a lot of questions about Nebraska. Was last year a fluke? They had tied with an undefeated record with Penn State the year before, so a lot of people thought Penn State should have won the national title. But Nebraska went into Miami and won the title, and there was no way Nebraska was going to be denied the national title, and they shouldn't have been. But the next year, it's like, okay, can they prove it? Can they do it again? And a lot of people down in the Southeast Conference were saying, hey, Florida's one of the best teams we'd ever seen, and that's saying a lot for the Southeast Conference. And Nebraska just comes out and drills them 62-24 in the Fiesta Bowl. It was just an unreal night. I remember just sitting there with my family watching the game, and tears coming down because you were so happy for Tom Osborne and the way he was able to build this dynasty at Nebraska. And we ended up winning 3 out of 4 years national titles, and that was a great time for Nebraska. But that game in particular, Tommy Frazier made a great run. Lawrence Phillips had an excellent game, and the whole team just played fantastic. And it was just a culmination of all these years of work that Osborne had put in and all these players had put in. And as fans, you just sat there and you just loved a night like that. It was just fantastic. And it says, what is your favorite pregame ritual or tradition? For me, it's got to be Nebraska's tunnel walk. I mean, the tunnel walk is a feeling you can't describe. That music comes on and the fans start clapping. Whether I'm at the stadium, which I go to several games each year, or just sitting here watching at home or watching at the local pub, it just brings chills down my spine. I mean, I just sit there and just thinking about it right now. I love that Nebraska tunnel walk. It's amazing. Next, it says, tell us about one specific moment or time that shows how big of a fan you are. Well, this would be when I got married in 2007, and let me tell you, my wife didn't really realize yet. I mean, she'd kind of realized, okay, yeah, you're a huge Nebraska fan. But it wasn't until we started making the wedding plans back in September of 2007 that she started to realize, okay, you may be a little crazy, because Nebraska didn't have a bye week. And my wife wanted to get married in the fall, preferably the early fall. So we were trying to pick out dates to have this wedding. Of course, you want to have it on a Saturday. And I just said, well, Nebraska doesn't have a bye week. Can we wait till next year? That wasn't going to fly, so we ended up picking out a game. It's the Ball State game. Because I thought, well, that's one that my family won't mind missing. It's Ball State, and Nebraska should win easily. It ends up going down. That was Bill Callahan's last year. Everybody knows that Bill Callahan was, not a good coach at Nebraska. But that was Bill Callahan's last year. We ended up only winning by 1 point against Ball State. I mean, 41-40. So I'm sitting here the whole day. We're taking pictures, getting ready for the wedding. I mean, I can't think. I'm sitting here, and Dad's bringing me updates from listening to the radio, and I just remember, I can't sit there and think about what's going to happen if Nebraska loses. I mean, it was going to ruin my wedding day. Nebraska ended up coming back from like 10 points down, winning by 1 point at the end of the game. And so the rest of the day was great. But I mean, that just kind of shows you, how much I freak out about Nebraska, because not only did I have to plan my wedding around Nebraska, it almost ruined my wedding day. So I mean, that's one thing you can say about me being a Nebraska fan. The next, it says, where is the best place to celebrate after a big win? Well, if I'm down in Lincoln watching the games, downtown Lincoln is literally just a few blocks or a couple blocks from the stadium. And there's all kinds of bars around there, and people are outside, just the streets are filled with Husker fans, and the bars are filled with Nebraska fans, and everybody's having a blast, celebrating the win. So I love doing that down in Lincoln. And if I'm at home watching, hey, I got to admit there's nothing better than sitting right here at home. I usually have a couple buddies. I'll text my brother back and forth, and I'll just sit back and kind of relax and just kind of bask in the glory of another Huskers win. And I watch the CBS or whatever, to just college sports, just to catch what they say about Nebraska and just kind of bask in the glory of a win. It's just nothing like just enjoying the win in your own home. And then it says, what makes your stadium better than everyone else's? Well, Memorial Stadium in Lincoln is a place like no other. I mean, if you've never been there, yeah, you can say there's some other stadiums out there bigger. There's the stadiums with 100,000 some fans. Ours only holds about 90,000, but it's electric. I mean, you show up there, the scene outside the stadium is beautiful, and they're actually expanding the stadium now to hold more fans, and they're putting in more skyboxes. I can't wait till that gets done. But it's loud. It's just one of the loudest stadiums in the country, especially you get a big team in there, and or a big rival. It's just electric in there, and there's just nothing like Memorial Stadium. So much tradition. It was built in the 1920s, and it's just, they've built and added on to everything since then. And you walk through the halls, and it's got all the Nebraska All-Americans of all time, and it's got a statue outside with Tom Osborne and Brooke Behringer, and one part on the stadium says, through these gates pass the best fans in the country. And I really do believe that. I mean, Nebraska's got some of the best fans, and I'm one of them. And it just makes me so proud to be a Nebraska fan. Very proud of our stadium as well. Last question. It says, how do you show your school spirit when you're outside of the stadium? Well, let's see. You can't probably guess from what I got on. I mean, I got Nebraska pants, Nebraska hat, Nebraska shirt. I'm always showing my school spirit there. But I also got many other things. I got Nebraska DVDs. I have Nebraska books. And this is just a small amount of my collection here, folks. I mean, I got a whole room full. I got a Nebraska Tom Osborne plaque here. As you can see, it says some things about Tom Osborne. It's got a signed edition of Sports Illustrated with his signature. And then I got some tickets in here that I had Bo Pelini sign, the coach in Nebraska. He signed a couple tickets for me. Then I even got one of the old coach Bob Devaney that my uncle got me one time when he was down in Lincoln. Bob Devaney signed a little card for me. So I mean, I got that. I got hand embroidered Nebraska stuff here. Somebody made this for me. I'm very proud of that. My baby blanket for my little 1-year-old boy. That's in Nebraska gear. I gave him a little trinket here, as you can see. And then I even got a little Nebraska shirt for my little 1-year-old boy here that he loves to wear. So I mean, basically, I got it all. I mean, like I said, don't have enough to show you right now, but I mean, I got a whole room full of stuff. I got flags. I hang a flag out on top of my house. I even made a little pedestal for where I can hang a flag out after a Nebraska win. Of course, when they lose, it's at half-mast. So basically, I'm just a crazy Nebraska fan. I mean, when I say I'm crazy, I mean I'm crazy about Nebraska. I can't wait for this year. Nebraska going to the Big Ten. It's the best fit for Nebraska. I couldn't be more happier about Nebraska going in the Big Ten. I mean, with the likes of Ohio State and Michigan and Iowa and Penn State and Michigan State. I mean, you name them all. I mean, there's so much tradition, so much class in the Big Ten. I never really felt at home in the Big 12. Just because the Big 8 was where we were from, and then they kind of joined with the Southwest Conference. It just never seemed the same. So I'm so much looking forward to being in the Big 10. I can't wait till this season. It's going to be unreal. Taylor Martinez coming back. Rex Burkhead, as you can see, my little kid. I love Rex Burkhead. I got a little Rex Burkhead jersey here for my little boy. So I'm just really looking forward to this season, and I hope you guys are too. And don't be surprised if Nebraska wins the Big Ten title its first year. in the conference. I think it's going to happen. See you later.